This is the assignment on page 173 in the book. And we went ahead and did the practice section here, question 1 and question 2. This assignment focuses on rotation functions. So the first question in the practice section says complete each rotation given the function. So this is what you would call a rotation function. The capital R stands for rotation. Uh, the reflection function also starts with the capital R, but in this case you can differentiate them by the fact that the subscript here has two terms, and whereas in the reflection function it only has one term. Okay, so this function here is saying to rotate, right? So R for rotate, line segment AB in reference to this line segment, about the center of rotation D, which is in reference to this point D, 45 degrees in the positive direction. So the first thing you kind of need to know is what is positive and what is negative in terms of rotation. So a positive rotation is going to be considered a counterclockwise rotation. And a negative rotation is going to be considered a clockwise rotation. Okay, so here we have positive, here we have negative. Now, when we want to rotate, and in this case we're rotating a line segment, but later on we're going to be rotating shapes. When we want to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate point by point, and then we're going to connect the points at the end. So here we're going to start by rotating A about D, and then we're going to continue by rotating B about D. And so this is a very step-by-step procedure, and I'm going to go ahead and list out what those steps are down here, and then we're going to go ahead and follow them. Okay, so let me go ahead and get a white background here. And so step 1 is going to be to draw a line segment between the center of rotation and the point of interest. Okay, and I don't know what happened to my white background here. I mean, honestly, Cami never wants to work with me, you know? It's a real shame. Okay. And so that's step 1. And step 2, or rather, let's go ahead and complete step 1 before I tell you step 2. So step 1 is to draw a line segment between the center of rotation and the point that we want to rotate. So in this case, let's say we want to rotate A. We're going to draw a line segment between A and D. Okay, and so now that we have this line segment from A to the point D, we can begin the process of rotating this point. Now, whenever a point is rotating about another point, it's going to follow a circular path. And so I can show you the path that this point A is going to take using a compass. Right? I will line this up here. And then I will make this blue, and then we can see the path that this point can take. And in this case, that's a little bit too small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Right, so you see the blue line. That's the path that this point A can take when it's rotating about D. It's a circular path. And so you don't actually have to make this circle with the compass, but I just want to show you what we're doing here when we're rotating A about D. Okay, so, but on your paper, right, this is the only step that you need to do here. You need to make this line segment. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to step 2. So step 2 is to rotate the line segment the specified angle. And Cami is being difficult. Okay. All right, so we want to rotate this line segment the specified angle. And in this case, the specified angle is 45 degrees positive, which is counterclockwise. So we're going to be rotating it in this direction. And so in order to do that, you're going to need to use a protractor. Okay, so you're going to want to take out your protractor. And that's the thing that looks like this with the angles on the side. And the way you use the protractor is to line this center mark. So where this vertical line and where this horizontal line meet is considered the center of rotation. Right, so you're going to want to place that at your center. So in this case, our center is D. So it's always going to be placed at the center of rotation. And then this edge here going this way is our 0 degree mark. Okay, and in this case, our protractor is starting at 180 degrees on this side. Your protractor is going to have numbers going either which way. But because our line is on this side, we want to start from 0 on this side. And so on Cami, you can just switch it like that. But of course, on your protractor in real life, you're going to have numbers starting from 0 going this way. And you're also going to have a number starting from 180 going downwards going this way. And you want to focus on the ones that are starting at 0. Okay, so we want to rotate this line 45 degrees. So in order to do that, we line up the protractor like this so we can have our angle here at 0 degrees. And then we're going to measure out where exactly, if we were to rotate this line to 45 degrees, can we label a point here that it would cross using the protractor? And yes, we can. We can make a mark right here at 45 degrees, right? That's 50. So 45 would be in between these 2 points. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a point there so that we can see where that 45 degree mark is. And then you can remove the protractor. And then we're going to draw our line segment from here to there so that we can see that line segment rotated. And let's do that and grab our line tool. And then we're going to go ahead and make our line segment to that point that we made on the protractor. Okay, so now we have rotated this line 45 degrees in the counterclockwise direction. But we want to find where A prime is on this line. Okay, and in order to do that, there's one fact that we need to know, which is that the distance from A to D is going to be the same distance as A prime to D prime. So in order to find where A prime is along this line that we've rotated, we're going to measure this distance, and then we're going to measure out that same distance along here. So step 3 is to measure the distance between the center of rotation and the old point. That is the new distance between the center of rotation and the new point. So on your assignment, when you're doing this on paper, you're going to want to pull out a ruler. Okay, and so Cami has a ruler in here, and so we can measure the distance from A to D with the ruler. So here I'm going to place it at 0, and then I'm going to rotate it. And we see that that's about 3 centimeters, right? 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to come over here, we're going to measure out 3 centimeters. So we place 3 on the center of rotation, and we measure out 3. And what do you know? The point is right there. So we're going to come over here, we're going to grab black, and we're going to make this 2, and we're going to make our point right there. Hold on, wait. I want that a little bit bigger. Right there. And so this is our new point A prime. And so as you can see, line segment AD was rotated 45 degrees to get A prime. And it traveled in a circular path. Okay, so as you can see, A prime is on the intersection of that circle and the line that we rotated. Right? So in actual fact, if you have a good compass, you can actually make circular paths and you won't actually have to use a ruler to measure out the distance. But because our compasses are a little bit janky, we use the ruler to measure the distance between A and D and get that to find the distance of A prime along our rotated line, right? So you can, depending on what tools you have, you can get rid of step 3 and instead use the compass to make a circular path, right? So we could say that, or, right, for our step 3, use a compass, because that circular path is also going to show us where that A prime location is at along the line that we rotated. Okay, so now we have rotated A prime, and now I want to rotate B. So we're going to follow these same steps in order to do that. We are going to make a line segment between B and D. So in this case, I'm going to use, let's go ahead and use green. And of course, Cami does not want to work with me here. Okay, so there we have our line segment between B and D. And then we're going to rotate that line segment, right? That's step 2. So we're going to go ahead and grab our protractor. Let's see if I can actually find a protractor. It's right here. Okay, so we're going to rotate that. I'm going to switch my numbers. And then I'm going to line this up with the center. And I'm going to line up the edge with my line so that my line is at 0 degrees. And now I'm going to look for my 45. Where's my protractor? Ah, see, this is why I don't like Cami. My protractor would never disappear in real life. All right, so line that up and mark my 45. It's going to be right about there. Okay, so we move this away, and then we want a line segment from D to that point. Okay, so now we've rotated line segment BD 45 degrees in the positive direction. And now we're going to get our ruler and we're going to measure. So this is step 3. So bring the ruler. So, okay, let's rotate that a little bit. Well, let's rotate it a lot, maybe. So that's going to be about 1 centimeter and 2 tick marks. Okay, so we're going to measure out 1 centimeter and 2 tick marks along this line. Maybe, if I can get this ruler to cooperate with me. Okay, so right there we have 1 centimeter and 2 tick marks. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a mark. Black. And we want 6. Boom, right there. Or maybe actually, yeah, no, that's good. Right, so that's our B prime. Okay, and if we did this correctly, we should see with the compass, and you don't have to do this step. Okay, this is just me. I want to show you the circular path that this point took to get to B prime. We've already completed it. This is just me wanting to demonstrate how this travels along a circular path. Okay, so if we did this correctly, that point should be on the circle that we draw from here. And as you can see, we were a little bit off because the ruler on Cami is a little trash, but you get the point, right? BD was rotated in order to get um, B prime, right? And so in this case, I'm gonna move it a little bit just for, well, no, I won't do that. But that's basically it, right? We've found A prime, we found B prime after it's been rotated about D 45 degrees. All that's left is to connect the points, and you've got what essentially amounts to your answer. Ugh. Come on, Cammy, work with me. Sorry. This program is absolutely garbage. Okay, there. All right, well, there you go. I connected, and it's gonna bother me. All right, there. I connected A prime, B prime with the line segment, so we have the new line segment AB after it's been rotated about D. All right, so I know that was very long-winded, but like I said, it's pretty much just 3 steps. If you follow the steps, it's going to be the same no matter what you're doing. You know, if you're rotating shapes, if you're rotating line segments, if you're rotating points, it's these 3 steps. You take it point by point, and then you connect the points at the end, and that's how you perform a rotation. Okay. Um, and so this video, all right, I'm going to leave the video there, and then in the next part, I'm going to show you how to do question 2, which is a little bit different. Um, so question 2 is asking us to determine the center of rotation and the rotation angle of the transform figure and write rotation functions. And so in the next part, I'm going to show you how to find the center of rotation for these 2 shapes that have been rotated. I'm going to show you how to find the angle of rotation, and I'm going to show you how to write the function. Okay, so stay tuned for that.